Welcome back to the Cabana. I've had some viewers say to me, Ernie, do you always sit in your cabana in your sport jacket? So proof is today not. No, I love being comfortable out here. So I want to bring the comfort to you who are watching today. Today's topic is very interesting, I'm hoping for you. It certainly interests all of us in the real estate industry. It deals with the idea of when clients ask us to keep their listing as a pocket listing or a private listing, compared to going through the multiple listing service in our community and utilizing vast marketing outlets, newspaper ads, magazines, the internet, social media, networking, those sort of things. So that's really the comparison. Some clients feel the need for privacy and love this idea of the so-called pocket listing. Most of them do want the widest distribution. And I want to bring forward to you today how you can compare the merits of both, because both of them do have upsides. I don't know about many downsides on the MLS, but I'll try to conjure some for you if there are. So to get you up to speed, I have to take us back to before the pandemic. Gosh, can you remember that? It's hard to remember before the pandemic. Anyway, it was November of 2019 at the National Association of Realtors convention. And what was voted in by the conventioneers was a policy called the Clear Cooperation Agreement. And it was intended to take effect in early 2020. History and fate had another idea about what would be happening in early 2020. So the enactment actually took force in May. And let me read to you its critical elements. It stated that it requires listing brokers to submit a listing to the multiple listing service within 1 business day of marketing a property to the public. Careful wording there. It's not preventing a private listing for your agent to utilize for selling your home. But if we're going to involve the public and distribute it to the public, there's no such thing as a pocket listing or a private listing anymore. It further went on to say, the reason for this is to prevent the practice of publicizing a listing for days or weeks without making it universally available to other agents. So they felt that private listings, pocket listings, were just another form of discrimination. If you've been around a TV or any type of news watching over this last year, the word discrimination has become a powerful action word in our society. By action, I mean people are taking action against discrimination. So is it really any different that the real estate associations are wanting to prevent discrimination? I think not. I'm proud of that idea. We should not have discrimination practice in real estate, regardless of the price point. Everybody can't afford a $20 million house. So, there's only a certain element of the public that will be interested in that. I don't think this policy was focused on the ultra high end, although it does include it. It's focused more on where the masses of transactions are occurring, where working people are buying their first home or their first condominium. And so I support the idea of open distribution so that a property that's for sale, anyone can come forward and buy it if they're qualified, if they're real, and if we can make it work. Let me share with you what the Clear Cooperation Policy does not include, the properties it does not include. It excludes leases, so you can have your pocket or private lease offering, and it excludes new construction, which includes properties that have been renovated more than 50%. So look, there's some wide open exclusions right now, especially for new built homes or for homes that have been beautifully renovated recently to a large degree. So those can still be privately listed, keep them as a pocket listing. Again, you've got to think about the effectiveness of that selling method, which I'll touch on a little later. Let me tell you what happens to the agents if they are found using the private listing against the rules. The first offense is a warning, very much like a traffic ticket. The officer lets you go, but lets you know that you're not working within the regulations. The second offense is a $2,500 fine. Okay. The third offense, a $5,000 fine. We're beginning to feel that now. But the fourth offense, the fourth pocket listing, you lose your license. So your agent cannot work in the business anymore. That's a big disincentive, folks. If you want your agent staying in the workforce, you do not want to ask them to have a pocket listing or a private listing unless you understand this new policy. Yes, it's being tested. Many of my colleagues are concerned about this. The discussions are pretty much rampant in our community about if this will work effectively or not. Here's what they allow us to do, though. Let's be creative. I like figuring out the challenge to be effective for my clients. We are allowed to promote properties under the heading of coming soon. And I began doing that last year with my team. It actually works pretty well. Coming soon allows us to give indication to all the real estate agents working within our MLS that your home is going to become available. We're not allowed to show it yet, but it puts the word out. This property's coming. Be ready. If you have a coming soon designation and for some reason the agent does show it to one buyer, then you're put under the obligation that within one day it must become open and wide to the entire MLS and public. So, hey, that could work. If you have a big fish buyer come and see your house while it's a coming soon designation and they make a beautiful offer, you might have your buyer right there. Lightning can strike, but you're going to have to open it up for everyone else within one day. So here's something that's very interesting, and this is where I go in the creative workaround to be within the regulation and yet helping my clients that want to retain their privacy or have a reason for the pocket listing designation. I am able to promote any property privately within my brokerage. Well, I happen to be the second largest real estate company in the United States, Douglas Elliman. So I'm given quite a bit of wide berth in agents that I can distribute your listing to without having to distribute it to the public, without advertising it, and without putting it in MLS. So that's a pretty good opportunity if you really need the privacy and the pocket designation. Or go with the coming soon, which is just the way to prepare people that your home will be coming on the market. But I have unlimited time, as any agent does, to promote your property privately as long as I stay within my company designation. Douglas Elliman has a bulletin board for all agents, and we're able to post your property on that bulletin board. It's an electronic bulletin board, not like the one I used when I was in school as a young boy, but that's pretty effective. We get calls often on our bulletin board listings, and yet they're not in the MLS. So what I recommend to you is to choose carefully not only your agent, but your method of listing and selling your home. I'm going to tell you from my decades of experience that the broadest base of buyers are going to be connected to your home using the MLS, especially now that we all live in the Zillow world. I'm sorry to say that, but it's true. Zillow, Redfin, Trulia, all of the third-party vendor services that also promote real estate listings. We live in that reality. If you want a private listing kept from the public, it will not appear in any of that. Maybe that satisfies you, but you're losing 99.5% of the buyer population that may be able to afford your home or might be qualified buyers for it. So choose carefully your method. One last creative tip from Ernie, and forgive me all other real estate agents at other companies that are hearing this, and some of my dear colleagues. A way to be even more creative as a seller and keep your listing private is to co-list it with two large companies or two large brokerages. You could elect Douglas Elliman and another large nationwide company, or someone very effective in your community, and have 2 agents working within their company bulletin boards, and you've got pretty wide distribution there. So those are my recommendations. Don't skewer me for them. I'm here to help and here to inform. Until I see you again here in the Cabana.